Welcome everyone to today's video where we will explore the secrets of a rather special type of person in relationships, those with avoidant tendencies. Surely, among us, everyone has encountered such a person. They always keep a certain distance, seemingly unwilling to share their true feelings. Have you ever wondered what is going on inside their minds? Why do they always run away from love and closeness? And more importantly, is there a way to make them miss you, even just a little? Avoidant people are often seen as a mystery, making us feel confused and sometimes helpless. They can appear as icebergs, cold and indifferent. But behind that disguise, they also have desires, fears, and their own hurts. They also want to be loved, to be connected, but past experiences have made them build a solid wall to protect their hearts. In this video, we will explore more deeply about the avoidant attachment style, learn the hidden motivations that govern their behavior, and especially, I will reveal to you a surprise that can make them miss you. It's not a magical secret, but the result of understanding, patience, and respect. We will analyze different aspects of this attachment style together, from the causes of formation to manifestations in love and relationships. We will also discuss common mistakes when interacting with avoidant people and effective approaches to build a healthy and meaningful relationship. Join me to delve into the inner world of avoidant people, to better understand them and to find the key to open their hearts. And who knows, after watching this video, you will find the answer to the questions that you've been wondering for a long time. Follow this video to discover the interesting and unexpected things that await us. Have you ever wondered if a small change in your approach could make an avoidant person really miss you? People with an avoidant attachment style often appear distant and cold, as if they don't want or need any deep connection with others. However, behind that indifferent exterior, deep down inside, they still have a desire for connection, a need to be loved and accepted. The problem is, the way they process emotions and build relationships is different from others. They have their own logic, a self-defense mechanism formed from past experiences, especially from childhood. If you don't understand these hidden motivations, you may inadvertently fall into an overly pursuing situation, making them feel suffocated and scared, or conversely, you may push them further away, further strengthening the distance that already exists between the two people. It's important to find the key to open the door to their hearts so they feel safe and willing to share their true feelings. Today, we will explore an important question together. Can silence make an avoidant person miss you? The short answer is yes, but not as simple as you think. Silence can be a double-edged sword which can help you attract the attention of an avoidant person, while it can also make them feel abandoned and hurt. People with an avoidant attachment style often approach love in a very special way. They experience emotions but at the same time find ways to escape their inner fears. This fear often stems from negative experiences in the past, when they feel unsafe, abandoned, or hurt. To protect themselves from those painful emotions, they have developed a defense mechanism by building a wall around their hearts, keeping others from being able to access. Silence can create a safe space for the avoidant person where they do not feel pressured or threatened. When you are silent, you give them time and space to think, to process their emotions, and to realize that you are not a danger to them. However, silence can also make them feel abandoned and not cared about, especially if they have had negative experiences related to silence in the past. Therefore, it is important to use silence skillfully and subtly, combined with actions and words that show care and respect for the avoidant person. You need to show them that you are there for them, that you are willing to listen and understand them, but at the same time, you also respect their own space. Avoidant people often grow up in an environment where emotional bonding is not fully met. They may receive material care, but lack deep empathy from their parents. Questions like, "How do you feel today?" or "Mom notices that you have something different. Do you want to share?" rarely appear in their childhood. So, they learn to see emotional attachment as a dangerous thing, because it is always accompanied by a feeling of being hurt or abandoned. When a child is not taught how to express emotions or feels that their emotions are not important, they gradually develop a protective shell. Instead of expressing their needs and desires, they learn to solve all problems on their own without help. This leads to an avoidant attachment pattern, where they see dependence on others as a threat. They can become very independent individuals, but inside is a deep fear of intimacy and real connection. Avoidant people tend to establish very clear emotional boundaries, sometimes to the extreme. When someone tries to approach them too closely, they may feel violated and react by withdrawing or keeping their distance. They don't do it because they don't care, but because intense emotions make them feel out of control. Intimacy arouses memories from childhood of rejection or lack of affection, making them unconsciously avoid situations that could lead to injury. Furthermore, they often choose relationships that they can control or maintain at a superficial level. Deep relationships can make them anxious, so they tend to be attracted to independent partners who don't demand too much emotional attachment. This does not mean that they are not capable of loving, but only that love for them may look different from those with a secure attachment style. They may express affection through actions instead of words, or avoid conversations that are too deep about emotions. However, the good news is that attachment styles are not fixed. Although avoidant, dismissive individuals may have difficulty building intimate relationships, they can absolutely learn to regulate their emotions and open up more. This process requires patience, self-awareness, and sometimes help from a psychologist. Understanding one's own pattern is the first step to change. When they begin to realize that connection does not necessarily have to be accompanied by pain, they can gradually learn to trust and embrace affection in a healthier way. If you are in a relationship with an avoidant, dismissive person, the most important thing is not to put pressure on them. Instead of demanding that they express emotions immediately, give them space while maintaining patience and consistency. Safety and trust need to be built over time, and if they feel unforced, they may gradually open up. It is important to understand that they are not intentionally distant or insensitive. It is simply a protective mechanism that they have developed from a young age. When you choose to remain silent, you are actually removing the very thing that scares them the most, the pressure from attachment. Without your presence, they no longer have anything to run from. This creates a space for them to connect with their own true feelings without being overwhelmed by defensiveness. However, there is one important thing to note. Avoidant, dismissive people are also very good at suppressing emotions. They can dismiss the feeling of missing someone for a long time, even several months, before feeling the real loss. This means that if you expect an immediate reaction from them, you may be disappointed. Avoidant, dismissive individuals tend to push away emotions, focusing on other activities to avoid facing emptiness. They may throw themselves into work, hobbies, or even other relationships to maintain control over their emotions. However, this is only a temporary way to avoid pain. Once the silence lasts long enough, they begin to feel the loss more clearly. This is the time when the suppressed emotions gradually rise up, and they may begin to question the relationship and their choices. But even when they realize that they miss you, they may still hesitate to reach out. The avoidant instinct makes them afraid of returning to a situation where they feel out of control. To truly understand and connect with an avoidant, dismissive person, it is important that you remain calm and patient. They do not change overnight. Forcing them to express emotions or make quick decisions can make them even more withdrawn. Instead, focus on yourself, on your personal development. When they see that you do not need them to feel complete, they may feel more comfortable approaching you naturally. Another important thing to note is that not all avoidant individuals will return after a period of silence. Some may continue to avoid and never face their emotions. So if you are using silence as a tool to make them come back, it may not be effective. Instead, see it as a way to set your own boundaries, so you can decide if this relationship is really right for you. If they do come back, make sure you have clear standards for how they need to engage in the relationship. Just because they miss you doesn't mean everything will automatically be better. There needs to be communication, understanding, and most importantly, a change in how they handle emotions and connect with you. If they are willing to do that, then the relationship can progress in a healthier way. But if they still maintain the old avoidance style without change, you need to consider whether it really meets your needs. What does that mean for you? If you only use silence as a tactic to make them miss you without real change in the way you interact, it will be a trap. They may come back, but then everything will repeat itself as before. However, if you use silence as a way to create space for yourself, to understand what you want, to establish healthy boundaries, then it can become a powerful tool to help both of you have a chance to connect in a better way. Avoidant dismissive individuals tend to seek control in relationships by maintaining distance. They are not used to expressing emotional needs, and when they feel pressured to change, they may react by withdrawing further. Therefore, if you only use silence as a way to manipulate them, you will not be able to break the old loop they are used to. Conversely, if you spend this time to truly focus on yourself, clarify your needs and limits, you will achieve longer-term benefits. This will not only help you regain balance, but also create a new premise for how you interact with them in the future. When you are stronger and more self-sufficient emotionally, you will no longer fall into the trap of being swayed by their avoidant behavior. Furthermore, silence can help the avoidant dismissive person have a chance to face their own emotions. When you are no longer there to become a place where they unload their worries or anxieties about commitment, they will not be able to continue to ignore what they really feel. Some avoidant people may realize that they really need and want more connection, while others may continue to maintain their old patterns. Whatever the outcome, you will have a clearer answer about the compatibility of the two people. One important thing to remember is that you cannot change an avoidant person if they are not willing to change. Your attempts to heal them or make them realize the value of the relationship can be counterproductive. Instead, focus on yourself, on what you need from a healthy relationship. If they are willing to come back with a more mature approach, it could be a good opportunity to build a lasting relationship. But if they continue to avoid emotional responsibility, it may be time for you to consider moving on. Silence is not just a tool to influence the other person, but also a method to help you look back at yourself. It gives you space to assess what you really want from a relationship and whether this person can meet that. Use this time wisely, not to wait for someone to change, but to ensure that you are investing in a relationship that has real value to you. In some cases, avoidant dismissive individuals need a period of 6 weeks to 3 months to process their emotions. This is the stage where they begin to feel the emptiness more clearly and can think seriously about what has been lost. But most importantly, when they come back, you need to know clearly what is important to you. Are you accepting someone who is not willing to change? Or are you establishing a more solid foundation so that both can build a safe relationship? When an avoidant, dismissive person begins to feel the loss, they do not react in the way that people with a secure attachment style will. They will not immediately seek to repair or express nostalgia. Instead, they may spend a lot of time self-interpreting their emotions, considering whether this emptiness is worth facing. Sometimes they may come back simply because of a feeling of familiarity, rather than because they are truly willing to change. This is why it is so important for you to understand your boundaries and values. If an avoidant person comes back but still maintains avoidant behavior, then giving them a chance may only prolong your own suffering. You need to ask yourself, does this person really try to develop emotionally? Are they doing anything to improve how they handle intimacy and attachment? If the answer is no, then maintaining this relationship may only cause you to continue to hurt. On the other hand, if an avoidant dismissive individual really takes the time to look back at themselves, to learn how to express emotions and accept deeper attachment, there may be hope for the relationship. However, this requires not only from their side, but also from you, the person who needs to set clear standards and not accept unhealthy avoidant behaviors. Another important thing is not to let yourself fall into the cycle of hope and disappointment. Avoidant people may come back and then leave again if they are not really ready to change. Pay attention to their actions instead of just listening to words. If they show effort in communicating more openly, investing in the relationship consciously and not avoiding intimacy, it could be a sign of a positive change. But if they continue to keep their distance, avoid important conversations, or are not willing to face emotions, then you need to consider whether to continue waiting or not. Finally, whether they come back or not, the most important thing is that you still have to focus on yourself. Do not let their behavior dictate your value or cause you to lose direction in life. A healthy relationship does not only come from loving someone, but also from both being able to build a solid foundation together based on trust, communication, and mutual respect. Make sure that you are not just holding on to the past, but really looking towards a better future. In any relationship, the most important thing is still sincerity. Never think about using silence as a tool to manipulate other people's emotions, because what is built on falsehood will never be sustainable. Instead, take advantage of this silence as an opportunity to listen to your heart, to look back at the values that are truly important to you in a relationship. Ask yourself important questions. What is unacceptable? What are your standards? And does this relationship really fit what you are looking for? When you have clear answers to those questions, you will know whether you should move forward or stop. I believe that after the sharing just now, you have partly understood the complex thoughts and emotions inside those who tend to avoid in love and relationships. Reading. An avoidant person is not easy because they often build a rather thick shell to hide the deep wounds and desires inside. However, that does not mean that they do not want to connect or do not crave to be loved. Only the way they express and receive affection is different from the majority. As we have analyzed, the key to reaching the heart of an avoidant person is patience, understanding, and above all, respecting their personal space. Do not try to impose or change them, accept them for who they are. Show them that you value their independence and freedom, and that you are always there when they need it. Remember that the journey to conquer the heart of an avoidant person is like an adventure, requiring perseverance and courage. There will be times when you feel discouraged, but do not give up, because when you truly understand and connect with them, you will discover a rich inner world and deep feelings that they have hidden for a long time. Finally, I want to send my sincere thanks to all of you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that the information and knowledge that we share today will help you have more new and useful perspectives in building and nurturing relationships. If you find this video useful, do not forget to click the like button, share it with those around you, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting content. Let's spread positive messages together and build a community that is increasingly understanding and loving each other more sincerely.